Hey there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Erik Johansson, a teacher with LSAT Demon. Joining me is Nathan Fox, founder of LSATdemon.com and the weekly podcast Thinking LSAT. Today, an email from Briana.
Briana says, Hola, just a quick question. What do you suggest in regards to study a week before the test? I've been studying daily for 4 months and have hit a point of exhaustion to where I am not digesting information well. I have got the scores I want on my practice tests, so I'm wondering how much to do before the real test. Thanks for all y'all do. Briana. What do you want to say to Briana?
I would normally tell someone to study the same the week before the test as you always do. That said, if you have truly hit a point of exhaustion and feel like you're burnt out, then take a break. You're not going to lose your LSAT skills in a week. So if you need a break, then give yourself a little break. Maybe it's not the full week, but yeah, ease up a little bit if you feel truly exhausted. I mean, the main thing is just don't do anything more or different.
Good job, Briana, on studying daily for 4 months. But the second you start to hit that point of exhaustion and feel like you're no longer taking things on board, I think you got to take a step back. You got to do the Control-Alt-Delete, reboot the system. And a really good way to reboot the system in any endeavor, I think about this in golf all the time, that if I take some days off, if I play too many days in a row, I start to hit it sideways. I take some time off, I come back, I go back to basics, and everything's easier. So if you are getting to that point of exhaustion to where you're not digesting information well, that's like you're not doing the basics anymore, because the basics are digest information well. Like you just can't be successful on the LSAT without reading carefully, understanding what you're reading. And so if the second you start to lose that, I think you gotta take a break. So I agree 1,000%, Erik. It's as if you took the words right out of my mouth. In general, we should not do things different or extra on the official test. You got to treat your official test like it's just another practice test. So in general, I would say in the week before the test, don't change anything. But Briana, you should have taken a day off the second you noticed this processing problem.
Yeah. I think
And
in any endeavor, burnout, like if you feel like you are starting to get burned out, that means you're already past the point of burnout.
yeah. And, I mean, don't take that too far and start giving up on things before you've, preemptively
Sure. Yeah.
taking days off. Before
I'm
you've
quitting
even
golf
started.
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I quit pretty much every time I play. Um, I would encourage Briana here to take a day off, maybe a couple days off. And, your practice tests don't lie. So if you have achieved the results you want on your practice tests, then you are totally justified in sitting for the official test. It really doesn't matter what you do between now and then, but don't give the test too much. Don't give the official test more respect than you gave those practice tests, because I just don't want you doing something different on the official test than you did on the practice tests. So this idea that people need to take a whole week off before the test, that's wrong. The idea that you need to take a week off of work so that you can study full time the week before the test, also equally wrong. What you need to do is you need to calm down and treat your practice tests like the official test and treat your official test like your practice test, which is you just give it the respect it deserves, which is, okay, I'm going to have to read this stuff carefully. It is lawyer shit. Skimming is not going to be enough. I have to actually understand what I'm reading. But I've done enough practice to know that if I just am calm and read it carefully, most of the questions are actually really easy. They kind of solve themselves. If you understand what it says, they kind of solve themselves. So I just have to understand what I'm reading. And if you just insist on that, I'm going to understand what I read. Doesn't matter whether it's a practice test or the official test. My job is just to understand these sentences and try to predict the answers to these questions, which are very predictable if you understand them. You want to put a bow on it for Briana?
Yeah, last thing I'll say, Briana, is Nate already cheered you for all the work that you've done. I want to point to one of the last things you said. You've got the scores that you want on the practice tests. Trust that. Go in with the confidence knowing that you have already scored really well on this test, and official tests will be no different.
Well said. Thanks, Briana. Email daily@lsatdemon.com if you'd like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.